Okay, QBD USA, we're going through an activity today. We've got all of our QA staff here, except for one, Ben, who's in one of the tolling facilities. We've also got Yan from BV. We've got our newest member back, and we've got a QC member, Mr. Tang here, who will also be performing a final inspection. What we did was a quick exercise. We got some samples from a disputable PO, number 6298 for U.S. Foods, which we're highly concerned about because we understand the strategic importance of this particular customer and the use of this particular PO within the trade. So we wanted to come up here and get one more look because we had two differing reports. Box was quite critical. We had 17% of rejected products, whereas we only had 2% from BV's side. When we take a look at these, we found today that production IDs, production identification was lost when they packaged and labeled these fillets. They put them into one big group. So we were hopeful that we could get individual production ID numbers in order to identify which production codes had the subpar quality fillets. But that wasn't possible because we're not keeping traceability, which is a concern for us. But here's what we did today. We looked at these are the 3.5s. The 3.5s generally look good. I'm going to try to get the camera in close so you can see. There was one suspect 3.5 where the texture is very mushy. We call the binyao. We have 4 categories for texture that we're sorting by. One of them is binyao. So 1 out of 10 is half of our QA would accept, basically the other half wouldn't accept. But their judgment criteria is very similar. For 5.7, all of them agreed that this fillet was binyao. This had the worst texture. I'm not sure how this is coming out in the film. This one was also binyao and had a hole in the middle, erect. This one has a blood spot and a hole in the middle. Half of our QAs agreed that 3 of the 10 samples of 5.7 were not acceptable, and Joe added a 4th because the texture was a little soft on this fillet itself. So again, our ideas are fairly closely calibrated at this time. Throughout the discussion, there wasn't a lot of disagreement as to which category each of these fillets would fall under. It's a little bit difficult because, of course, we don't have a tool to measure and put these on a scale. So I just wanted to be sure that we're all judging in relatively the same way. Sometimes it appears that we don't because of the conflicting reports that we just had for 6298. But now I found out that because we're not keeping traceability, that's most likely the reason why. The sample that Buck took was just a worse sample than the sample that Young had.